Were you the best you in 22? And how do you want to be the best me in 23? What are we talking about? New Year's resolutions. It's that time of year again when we sit down, we look at the year ahead, and we say, gee, I want to accomplish these things, or I want to be better about these things. But how do we start? Where to begin? Sometimes it could be really, really overwhelming. And I'm here to give you a little clue into things that have worked for me that hopefully will help you. My name's Kevin Snyder. I'm a husband, father, and estate planning elder law attorney. And these are things that I use in my life and my relationships and my business to better further me into the new year. So here's a little insight of things that you can do to help you sit down and create these New Year's resolutions. Number one, let's not call them resolutions. Let's throw that out the window. Resolutions is kind of a staid old term that I remember my mom and dad telling me when January turned the page, said, we're going to sit down and write resolutions. It sounded so formal, and it's a big word and can be intimidating. So let's just throw that out. What are your goals? Shorter word, something to achieve. It's kind of fun. In soccer, we score a goal and boom, it's exciting, right? We all just watched the World Cup, and whenever there was a goal, we all cheered. So let's work on things called goals so we can all cheer them when we achieve them later. So how do you sit down and create goals? For some of us, it's pretty top of mind. Things that we didn't get to last year that we want to do, things that we have always wanted to do. Some of us are just really goal oriented. But for many of us, it can be kind of a difficult and tedious task. Plus, we're tired from the end of the year, the holiday celebrations. Some of it's weather induced wherever you are in the country, rainy California. It doesn't really seem like a necessarily a fun thing to do. So we put it off. And before we know, it's going to be December 2023. And what we have to show for ourselves. So the one thing you can do to kind of help kickstart the year into creating these goals for the new year is to look back and do an exercise of where was I last year at this time, this very time. Get a piece of paper out, get your device, iPad, whatever is really good for you to like kind of journal or write things out. You could talk it out, but whatever works is just spend some time and in a quiet spot, no interruptions. Put the iPhones away, or put them on silent if you're using a device you're not getting interrupted, and just think back. Take 15 minutes. Put a little timestamp on this so you can focus your energy on it, and take 15 minutes and just think back. Where were you January of 2022? And just write it out or talk it out and just describe your life last year at this very time. And the reason why we do that is because you can look and see how far you've come. And I'd be willing to bet during this period that you're doing it, writing or talking, you're going to have a revelation of, gee, I've come a long way, perhaps maybe even without trying. But it helps us to ground ourselves in where we were a year ago, because if we can come that far in a year, then think about where you're going to be a year from now. So 15 minutes of where you were last year, right? Get that down. Then reflect on it. Then take another 15 minutes and think about if I'm now fast forward to get in my DeLorean time machine and go forward a year, and it's now January of 2024, and I'm doing the same exercise, where will I want to be? So in 1 year, if it were a perfect world and I get to do everything I wanted to do, and I'm looking back on it, I'm going to say, wow, 2023 was the best year ever. What does that year look like? What are you doing? What kind of relationships are you having? How is your career or professional life going? How is your financial life? Other things that you wanted to do, travel, things like that. Think about what has happened during this upcoming year to make it the best year, and write that out. And now, in 30 minutes of exercise time, you have seen exactly how far you've come from last year and kind of a vision of where you want to be. And that will be the kind of the crux of how you're going to develop your goals, because you're going to look back and you're going to say, well, looking back last year, what worked, what didn't, what do I want to do more of? What do I want to do less of? And what are some of the things I learned from my mistakes or my wins from last year that I want to carry forward into this year? So then looking at making 23 the best year, if you're 23 is going to be your best year, then what will your wins be? What will be the strengths and things that you will have accomplished that year? What will have worked for you? And then you can strive towards that. So that's one exercise, and how to develop some goals. Other things you can look at is, of course, that might be too big and hairy for some, and that's okay. And looking at last year and looking at forward in advance of a year, that might be too hairy of an exercise. So something we can do that's even simpler than that is just take 15 minutes. And again, I love the 15 minutes. Why? Because it focuses us. It focuses us into laser-like precision and getting our mind working rapidly, or else we tend to meander. If we take the 15 minutes now, think about all the tolerations in your life, all the things that just been bugging you, eating at you. Maybe it's the shower head that's dripping in the shower, or it's that light that's flickering in your hallway, or whatever it is. Right? There's these little things that are kind of they're vampire stressors on you. Like, they're not like that big that you're going to deal with it right in that moment, but in the aggregate, you get a few of these together, and every day it's the same thing over and over and over that is zapping you with some stress. These are tolerations that we carry around with us. And think about, in the last year, if there's a toleration that you have been dealing with on a daily basis, and you pick up one a day, you have a bag full of 365 tolerations that you've been dragging around with you, and it's bringing you down. So how can we start to chip away at that? So spend 15 minutes and just do a brainstorm of all the things in your life that have been bothering you, that have been bugging you, that you've been meaning to attend to. Then, after the 15 minutes, you can take a look, and you'll be surprised. It might take a few minutes to get some traction, and start with some of the small things. Like I said, if there was a leak in the ceiling, a drippy faucet, or some clogged kitchen sink, something like that, just start there, and it'll begin to mount. And you'll have a long, maybe not that long, but you'll have a list of some tolerations. Those can be your goals. I'm going to address those tolerations, because those are the things that are dragging me down from 22. And I'm going to go off, and my goal is to be able to tackle these tolerations. And there you go. Now you have an easy list. So those are the top three things that I can offer. And how we create some New Year's goals moving forward is we look at the last year. What worked, what didn't, what we want to do more of, what we want to do less of, what do we want to learn and improve. Do an exercise of thinking about, if 2023 is going to be the best year of my life, what's going to happen? What would happen? What would make it the best year of my life? And number three is, we can look at making a list of tolerations, things that have been bugging us and dragging us down. And over the years, or just in the past year, and how are we going to go ahead and fix those? And that, my friends, is a great way to create New Year's goals for 23. Again, my name's Kevin Snyder, and I'm a father, a husband, and estate planning and law attorney. And I'm committed to my goals for 2023. Hope you are too. If you want to learn more, just come back and watch these series of videos to learn more how you can be a better you or a better me in 23. Talk to you soon. Be well.